What's going on, everybody? My name is Jamie. This is the Blades and EDC channel, and today we're going to take a look at some really cool front flippers. These are the favorites that I have in my collection. They are arranged from least expensive to most expensive, and you can get all these 5 right here right now. You can get this one on the secondary, and there's a pre-order coming up for one of these on the 15th. And then when the drops come from the previous pre-orders, you can buy. There's usually extras, and you can buy one, although you will pay a little more for them that way. So we're going to start here. This is the Sixleaf SL-11. This knife runs about $37. It does come from China. Actually, every knife on this table is made in China. So this Sixleaf is a newer company, but they are being OEM by Twosun, which makes really good knives. This knife is a budget knife. It runs about 37 bucks, but for $37, it has fantastic action. It is very easy to front flip because of the way the flipper tab sticks up so high. Gives you a lot of leverage there to get it going. And you know, the thumb flick or the over the top flick or the knuckle flick, they all work very well. This one is in D2 steel, micarta handles, deep carry pocket clip that is not reversible, so it is right hand tip up only. This is a rattlesnake design, and I really like this knife. I hope that Sixleaf makes more of these. Well, I know they're making this one. I hope they make more with different micartas and things like that, maybe carbon fiber or something. It's a really cool knife. I really like this knife, and I hope they make more variants of it so we have more options. Alright, the next one we're going to take a look at is not mine. It was loaned into me, but I have ordered one, and because I like it so much. This is the Miguron Akri, A-K-R-I, and this thing has stupid good action. And unlike this one, which has a thumb stud, so you have multiple deployment options, this one here is strictly just a front flipper. But man, out of everyone in this group, this one has the best jimping. This is the best jimping I've felt for a front flipper. It's tacky to your finger or your thumb here. I mean, your thumb wants to stick to it the way it's made. It's sharp, but not so sharp it hurts your thumb. But it does kind of hurt your finger when you're doing the over the top knuckle there. It is a little rough there, unless you've built up calluses in that area. But it doesn't bother my thumb at all. This one has G10 handles. This is the tan version. You can get it murdered out also with black G10, black blade, all black hardware. It does have a milled titanium pocket clip, and it does have a titanium backspacer. Pocket clip is not reversible, so it is a right hand tip up only. And the star of the show is this thing. Look at this action. This thing is just drop shut as can be. And this is almost brand new, so practically new. Look at that. Fantastic knife. This one will run you $48, and this one is also available on Amazon. This one, the Sixleaf, is available on Amazon, but that one is not a Prime, I'm pretty sure, and you'll have to wait like 3 or 4 weeks to get it. This one, I believe, is a Prime, so you'll get it quicker. Next one here is the Sencut Bronte. And, this one also has really good action. It is also a flipper only, but you can put a thumb stud on here, a quick stud. I did have one installed on it when I was carrying it. I just like to have multiple deployment options. But there are multiple variations of this knife also. And this one is tip up right hand or left hand carry. It does have reversible pocket clip. I love this blade shape on this one. This thing is a flat grind. Actually, all these have been flat grinds so far. This thing is a flat grind and super thin blade stock. I don't remember exactly what it is off the top of my head. Somewhere around 90 thousandths, I think, or something like that. But, you know, this is another. All these knives have great action, but this one has really good action for a coated blade. If you're good at it, you can do the over the top flip with this one. I'm not the best at doing that, so yeah. It's not something I do very often. This one here, I don't remember the blade still on this one. 14C28N on this one. This one's D2. I believe this one is 14C28N also. Yeah, it is 14C28N also. And yeah, you can get this one in two variations with G10. This one with a coated blade, the other G10 has a satin blade, and then there's two micarta versions. Both of those have a satin blade. This thing is great for piercing into cardboard, cutting through the cardboard and things like that. Great blade shape for that sort of thing. Although with this one, you're going to have to be careful with the tip. Very thin at the tip there, so that tip is going to be fragile. You're going to, no hard use with this knife at all. These other first two, much more stout at the tip. But yeah, this one will run you about $51 on Amazon. Occasionally they come on sale, so keep that in mind. All these I'm sure you'll catch sales on from time to time, except for the last couple. This next one is my newest front flipper and has become my favorite. This is the Petrified Fish PE04 Scholar, and you can get it either with this olive wood or you can get it in a white G10. Titanium backspacer, titanium pocket clip, right hand tip up only pocket clip. And this one has this is the only hollow grind out of these knives. And this thing, man, you talk about slicey. This thing is so slicey and it is so sharp. It's yeah, it is ridiculously sharp. Another one, fantastic action. You gotta get your thumb out of the way with this one also, because where that finger choil stops right there at the edge, when you release that light bar, if you have your thumb in the way, it's gonna get you. So, and it is super smooth. And this is the newest knife on this table here. So, and this is action out of the box. I've had this for about 3 days now, and I've fallen in love with this knife. The action, the look of it, this beautiful olive wood handle. I mean, it's lightweight. It's only like 3.5 ounces, but it's a pretty good sized knife to be 3.5 ounces. You got a Wharncliffe blade there. It's more like a straight razor look to it. And this one's a fingerprint magnet for sure. So is that Miguron also, to be honest with you. Just because of the satin finish. This one's a stonewash finish, and this one's a black wash finish, so you don't have to worry about fingerprints. But man, I love this knife. Not much bad to say about this one. And this one has one of my favorite stills on it, 154cm, which is a fantastic still. Holds an edge really well. Sharpens very easily. Love this knife. Granted, I'm only a weekend or less than a weekend with it, but I don't see anything going wrong with it. You can do this over the top too if you're good at it, but I'm not going to do it because I don't want to drop it on any of these other knives. I'm not that good at it. Yeah, there's your markings on this one. They hide the markings away, so there's no billboarding. There's your blade still and your model number. Nicely hidden away there, so no markings on the blade, which is a good thing in my opinion. And this olive wood, man, it's beautiful. I know a lot of people don't like wood handles. I love them, but you got to use it for what it is and know what it is when you use it, right? You don't want to get this wet. You don't want to, if you're doing something, a type of job or something, you're going to get all sweaty all day, every day. This is not a knife you want in your pocket. And you don't want to hard use this because you will crack that wood in time if you do. And if you get it wet repeatedly, you can crack it easily. Lock bar access on this one is great. So good. They've carved out that wood in there to where you've got like a nested liner up inside it on both sides. Keeps the width down, the thickness down. And yeah, this is a fantastic knife. I should have told you on all these. Lock bar access on this one, really good. Got jimping on it. Got a little cutout on this side, allows you to get to it very easily. This one has no cutout for the lock bar access at all, but because of how thick it is and how much space you have in the middle, it's super easy to get to it. And it's a super light lock bar. Lockup's kind of light on this one, I gotta say though. Look at that. This one's not locking up very well at all. It's not getting a lot of lockup. Unless I flip it out there further, then it locks up a little better. But it's light on the lock bar on this one, which contributes to that super good action. I should have, when I did my overview of that, I forgot to point that out. This one does not have the greatest lockup, but that should improve in time. So, and lock bar access on this one, on the SL-11, you got access for days. Super easy access. Not the most appealing to look at, but it's fantastic action and lockup. I guess at about 40%. So yeah. All right, now we're going to get into, and this one is $70 on Amazon. $69.95 I believe it is, if it's still the same price it was when I bought it. Now we're going to get into a little more of an expensive range here. This is the Twosun TS195. This is a morning night design. This is M390 steel, integral, titanium integral. This one has multiple deployment options. These last three are primarily just front flippers. Although this does have a fuller, I should have pointed out. This does have a fuller on it, so you can get your nail in there and deploy that blade. It's easier to do it reverse flick than thumb flick, but you can do it. And this one has a thumb stud for deployment. This is front flipper only, front flipper only. And this one you can front flip, you got a flipper, and you've got, you know, the fuller. So it's got multiple forms of deployment. And out of all the forms of deployment on this knife, I prefer the front flip. The reason for that being is this one has a kind of a sensitive lock bar here. If you get your hands on that lock, your fingers on that lock bar at all, you're going to struggle to deploy this knife. Any pressure at all, it'll fail it. You see what I'm saying? That's because I got my middle finger on that. So for me, when I want to flip, my middle finger always wants to land there when I want to use a flipper tab. Reverse flick, I can normally get okay and stay off of it, but where it's at for me is the front flipper, because where my fingers line up for the front flipper, I don't get anywhere near that lock bar. So this one and the next one are frame locks. The rest of these have all been liner locks, and these are more expensive. This one runs about $250, but man, what you're getting for $250 for this knife is hard to beat. I mean, you're getting a full integral titanium with M390, multiple deployment options. That just looks beautiful with that frag milling on the titanium, milled titanium pocket clip, right hand tip up only, of course, and this blade shape. And the thing, comparison between these blade shapes here, they're very similar blade shapes, but if you look at this, it comes straight down to the tip, right? And leaves that tip super, super thin right there. To where with this one, this Twosun, you see how it comes down to here and then it kind of angles down a little more? It keeps this tip much more thick and robust, and it's going to hold up much better to harder use than the Sencut would. And this thing has really good action also. I haven't had this knife out in a long time. I haven't carried it in a while, so it's probably a little stiff at the moment. But yeah, great action, super fidgety. That blade shape is great for any utility cutting. All these, this one, with their blade shapes, great for any type of utility cutting. Perfect for that sort of thing. And yeah, this is one of my favorite knives actually. I love this knife. All right, and where did that other one go? This next one is the Twosun. That was Twosun TS195. This is Twosun TS129. This is my current favorite knife. The reason I didn't have it on the table is because it was in my pocket. Whoop, missed it under the camera here. But this is a front flipper also. It's a little bit bigger, but man, out of all the knives on this table, the one that feels the best to me in hand and action is this knife right here. With the blade, with the hole in the blade, you've got, you know, reverse flick for days. You've got thumb flick for days. If you're not on a camera, you've got the front flipper. So you get multiple forms of deployment. Carbon fiber on the show side, which looks really nice on this. I'm not always a fan of carbon fiber, but I like the way this carbon fiber is done. Titanium frame lock, milled titanium pocket clip, titanium backspacer. Micro milling all through the titanium, just gorgeous. M390 blade steel. You can pick these up for $130. It's hard to even make sense of it. And this is one of those that you'll have to wait a few weeks for it to come from China. So is this one. And yeah, but I'm telling you, it's worth every second of the wait. With this this kind of action, these materials, it's hard to understand how this is being done. And there are other channels who have tested the steel, actually of this knife, this model in particular. I believe it's Love Them Knives, is the guy that sent a bunch of Twosun knives off to have them tested to see if they are what Twosun is advertising they are, and have the HRC rating they say, and they've all come back to be exactly what Twosun says they are. So yeah, this is the best. I've got quite a few Twosuns. This is my favorite. Actually, this is my favorite knife overall right now. This is the knife I like to carry the most. And definitely the knife I like to fidget with the most. I'm not carrying it right now that often, except on the weekends, because I'm trying to carry some other knives to test them out. But man, I always want to put this one back in my pocket. It's great for lefties too, other than the pocket clip part of it. I have no coordination left-handed, so if I can do it, lefties will have it with ease. But yeah, great knife. Can't go wrong with this one. Out of every knife on this table that you see right now, the one I would recommend the most is easily this knife, this TS129, because it is, like I said, it's stupid good for the money. Fantastic. Alright, last but not least, the EMP EDC Nimble. This is another fidget monster. Another one I haven't used much lately. I haven't flipped much, so it's probably a little stiff. But it has the front flipping action, which in my opinion, other than the reverse flick, is the best way to deploy this knife. Flipper tab works fine, works great. Reverse flick works fantastic. Thumb flick works fantastic, but my favorite way to deploy it is the front flipper. I've just become hooked on front flippers, which is kind of funny because you watch my channel in the beginning. One of the first knives that was on my channel was, oh, I left that one out. I need to pull that one out. One of the first knives that was on my channel was the Kizer Feist, Denim Feist, and I won this knife from Neve's Knives in one of his contests. And this is the first knife I ever front flipped, and I did it live on camera. I unboxed it on camera and did my first front flip on camera, and I was terrible at it. I'm still not that great at it, but I love front flippers. That's my problem, is I always have my hand in a way to where it feels like I'm gonna drop the knife, especially with these smaller ones. But I should have put this one up here and I completely forgot about it. Kizer Feist here. Everyone knows this knife. 154 cm, my favorite kind of steel. Blue denim micarta, but there are multiple variations of this knife. You can get all, there's even a sheep's foot version of it now. There's just endless options with this knife. This is the smallest knife on this list, but we'll sit it over there. And these run about, this one runs about $75, but you get that Kizer action for $75. And if you're not familiar with Kizer and their action and quality, do a little, look them up. They're fantastic. They make great knives. So this is out of order, so this should be right here. If I'm doing this by price, most expensive to the cheap, or cheapest to most expensive. Bam. Actually, this one should be there. Alright, now last but not least, get all these in frame here where you can see them all. And you know, for 75 bucks, I think you'd do better with pretty much all these knives below that, honestly. It's a great knife, don't get me wrong, but in my opinion, it's not $75 great. So, alright, the EMP EDC Nimble. This is a knife that really got me probably most into collecting knives, honestly. This one here, when I saw the look of this knife with that frag, the way it's done, with that spear point blade, that finger choil, it I don't know, something about this one just called my name. I had to get it, and I pre-ordered it. And I've also pre-ordered the Nimble X, which should be in about a month, I think. And yeah, but honestly, this one got me started, but since this one got me started, I've gotten a lot of other knives, and I've fallen out of love with this knife a little bit. It's good, it's great, don't get me wrong. This is OEM by QSP, it's M390 steel, full titanium frame lock. People rant and rave about this knife, and it is great, but you know, this will run you on pre-order. That's without the mocha tie, keep in mind. It comes, I got the version with the blue satin titanium hardware. I purchased the mocha tie kit separately. You know, this will run you on pre-order, I think $289 or $279, and then if they usually get extras on the pre-order, so you can get one when the pre-orders arrive, but they're usually like 30 bucks more, a little over 300 to get one of these. And honestly, I really like this knife, but I would not recommend this knife over that knife. And I can buy 2 of these for what I pay for one of these. And you know, it I don't know, it just seems like in my opinion, maybe a little overpriced. It's a great knife. It's a fun knife. It's a beautiful knife. But in my opinion, I think they're a little overpriced for what you're getting. Considering it's coming from QSP, we see the other things QSP is making and putting out, and you know, I think the price should come down on these personally. I think they're a little high for what you're getting, and you know, one of the knives that made me feel that way is the QSP Penguin, because I've got a few of those, and even one of them with Fragged titanium, and of course it's 154 cm, not M390. But yeah, I just, you know, it's beautiful. If by the time you add in the Mokatai kit, the knife and everything, you're looking at near $450 for this knife, and I just think you could do much better for your money. And now, if you're just a collector and you just want it for the looks, to put it away and put it in a box, I get that. But you know. All right, so this is about front flipping mainly, and which one's got the best action? Well, for strictly front flipping, if you're going to front flip all these knives, which one is the best to use? It's between this one, the Petrified Fish, and this Miguron. These are the two best for if you're just looking for front flipping action. These are the best two on the table. Now, this Sixleaf is also really good, but it's really good in a way that, because it's got this big unicorn horn, as my daughter calls it, sticking up off of it, you know, which gives you a whole lot of extra leverage. And like with this Miguron, you don't have that sticking up, and you have great action. Keep in mind the liner lock on this one, though. I'm not sure if they're all like that or not. And this one has great lockup and super sturdy. I mean, rock solid. It does stick up a little bit, but nothing quite like that Sixleaf for its size anyway. Much larger knife. And yeah, I've got some other front flippers coming, and I just pre-ordered another one, the Cubist variant PE2, which is going to have a front flipper on it also. And yeah, I've fallen in love with front flippers. I don't know why. This one right here is the reason for all of it, though. I was so bad at this one. Then I started to get a little better with it, and started to like it, and yeah. So that took me down a road of, and there's some more front flippers around here, but I didn't think they don't have the best action, so I didn't put them out here. And yeah, that's it. That's going to do it. Leave a comment if you have any questions about any of these knives, and I'll link all these that I can in the description if you want to take a look at them. And thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you on the next one.